You can hear me all right?
Yeah, man.
Beautiful. Righto.
Here we are.
My mother asked me to ask you if you'd like to join us for dinner.
Why?
I was hoping you'd know.
That's not bad, eh? It's not bad
He's
at all.
got the big clamps out.
Yeah.
Big clamps everywhere.
But there's lots of things like, yeah, I need to get another camera so I can have like one here and one there.
Oh, yes.
Just little things. But, and the lights, I've got like proper lights at home. I've just got to bring them in and actually set them up.
Oh, yes. Get them organised.
Pretty much, but it's all a work in progress sort of thing.
My wording.
Rome wasn't built in a day, is it?
No, not at all. Oh, thank you very much for that.
That's all right, man.
It's a bit like burning an Uber. Early Ubers, they don't do it anymore.
Dude, I'm really like, Ubers is a relatively new thing for me. Like, so I don't go to town much. But
I only use them when I'm away for work.
Well, I use them
Taxis.
because
Fuck it.
yeah, well, like with like if I tow a trailer, I always got either I'm in one of my trucks or towing a trailer.
Yes.
I go up to town. You fucking can't park anywhere, so I
Yes.
park out and then I Uber into town.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
But
Back in the day, you'd get a water, you'd get a mint.
well, when I got like, it was before Christmas. I was in there doing my Christmas shopping, and I bought these microphones actually. 'Cause I remember carrying them back to my truck.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, that he had waters and mints and whatnot.
Yeah. Back in the day when they first started, you nearly get a wristy.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Oh, these are all proper mics, Rhodes, aren't they?
Yeah, are they right? No, Auto Technica.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
fucking cost me a bloody fortune to set
still
it all
good
up.
jiggers, eh?
Yeah, well, it was all good. Like all the money that sort of make off social media, I was like, fuck, this is what I want to do. Something like this. So I'll use that money to put into it. So.
Yeah, cool. Works well.
Yeah.
So I don't need to speak at it, just does its thing.
Just put it roughly near your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Chuck your headphones on if you want. You don't have to wear the headphones. It's easy to hear me, but...
No, I'm happy to get involved. I'm happy to wear a headphone. Right, it sounds pretty wild.
You should.
Makes me sound like a radio announcer.
You've got you got one of those.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages.
You've definitely got got like one of those distinct voices for radio for sure.
It's a bit of a pity that I don't pronounce stuff very well and I sound like a bogan. Otherwise, I might have had a career in radio. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some UFC stuff because I love saying for those in attendance and for the millions around the world.
You could definitely do some, eh?
Well,
sure.
Mozza got me into it. Well, we probably should save this for or are we going now?
Well, I don't really start. It's very informal. I just
see the red light going.
Yeah, I kicked that in the gut straight away.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we'll jump straight into it.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Good to meet you.
Yes, you too. Finally, this has been just over 4 months in the making.
There you go.
I looked at the.
We're both busy.
Yeah, I looked at the messages when we first started. When I first put it to you to see if you wanted to come on, and yeah, it was a bit over 4 months ago.
Yeah, and I suppose I was keen as mustard because, I'd seen a tiny bit of what you've done in the past with your socials, and I got a giggle out of it, and I just loved it because, for mine, social media has gone down that rabbit hole of being anti-social media, and the stuff you do just makes me giggle, or did, and I mean, I saw a smattering, a tiny bit of it. I wouldn't have been a follower as such, but I definitely, anything I did see, and even that song you did a little bit of a jiggle to, Red Line.
Yeah.
I'd only ever heard sound grabs of that before on bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And so I've been listening to it flat out because it's
a good song.
It's a catchy beat, isn't it? And if you I don't really know what the idea behind. I do a little bit of study about the idea behind it, and some of the lyrics aren't for everyone, I suppose. But if you get out of bed and don't get in a good mood after listening to that twice in a row, there's something wrong with you.
I've used music. Well, before we get into this, so for those of you that don't know, this is Kelly Hunt, or affectionately known universally as Hooch, who's our guest today. But so getting back to the music. I've always used music as a tool, I guess, sort of thing. It can change your mood in like instance. And one of the most common things, I've always got music in my social media stuff. I'm constantly people going, "Oh, what's this song? What's that song?" And it fucking wears thin, to be fair. It's like, use Shazam, like Google the lyrics, have a go, But
funny you mentioned that about the music.
Yeah.
Because I've got some mates, and it amazes me more and more so the older I get. I'm 53 now. But I've got some mates that are just doing it tough. And I mean not getting out of bed tough.
Yeah.
I mean turning themselves into nocturnal animals. Yep. Just struggling big time,
Yep.
staying up late,
Yeah.
doom scrolling rubbish.
It's an easy thing to fall into.
Yep,
Man.
and getting up at 2 in the afternoon. And
Yeah.
I just say to him, get up early and put the Village People on. And it sounds ridiculous. It
Yeah.
sounds cheesy. But if you can listen to half the Village People
Yeah.
greatest hits, and you don't get a little bop going while you're having a shower and having a coffee,
Yeah.
like you need to have a real deep hard look at yourself.
It's and it goes the other way as well. As you say, like I remember when I was younger, listening to, you know, a lot of music that sounded good and catchy, but I suppose it's that subliminal, I don't know if subliminal messaging, but all that like negative shit, and it's just pumping it into your brain, and it can bring you down like quick as, man.
I
Like,
think so, and it's a
super
subliminal thing. Like we know that it works like that because advertising agencies, that's just what
Yeah.
they school themselves on.
For sure.
But I mean, speaking of catchy tunes, and then ones that are a little bit off, you know, the one that's about pumped up kicks.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be grooving to that.
Yeah.
And I just thought she was a catchy summer tune, and then I listened to the lyrics going, this is about shooting people for their shoes. And I'm like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
I missed that.
There's a lot of songs that I like that I think that find fame just for they've just catchy tune or catchy lyrics and can mean something that's like pretty heavy that a lot of people completely overlook.
Yeah, my word. But music, that's the key thing. Get onto it if you're feeling a bit down. I think it's the key point I'd like to make.
For sure. Have you
It works
seen,
for me.
Oh, man, it works for everyone. I think the people that deny it aren't just really aware of it, sort of thing. Have you ever seen the who was it? Oh, Axis of Awesome. There's a YouTube video, Axis of Awesome, the 4-chord song.
Oh, yes. It's phenomenal.
It blew me away.
It is absolutely amazing that those four chords are underpinning and are the foundation of a myriad of songs. It's worth a watch. So if anyone wants to grab that, have a look at it.
It's and I think I would have been in high school or maybe college when I very briefly in college, but they've done studies on the certain notes and stuff strung together and certain things and just how it like reacts to the human brain and stuff. And it's the same, like I've got like Scottish background and whatnot, and I listen to bagpipes and I get like my hair stands up, man. I'm like let's go.
And they found that by accident, didn't they? And,
I don't know how they found it.
Well, they definitely knew something was going on because when you were about to go in Scotland, you're about to go to war with broadswords against a massive army that's way bigger, and you're standing on a hill in your cloth skirt, in your heavy fabric skirt. You needed something fairly inspirational, didn't you, to take that on? For us with the powerboat racing, it's a bit AC/DC before a race, but back then it was the bagpipes. Let's go and get cut in half.
The powerboat racing. I've seen that you do a bit of that, and that they've got. I'm very green. I like engines and things that go fast, but I've never ever like had anything to do with the powerboat racing apart from driving past it at New Norfolk. But is there other like tracks, I suppose, in Tassie?
They call them circuits,
Circuits,
and I call them tracks and circuits. But I got into that again. Got everything nearly in the last 15 years in that space he's been dragged into it by Mozza. And so if we go back to the reason why we get dragged into it is because it's the commentary stuff. Mozza was an absolute sensation.
He phenomenal. So for those that don't know, that's one of the things I was going to bring up. That was sort of where I became aware of you, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So Mozza was this
larger than life.
Phenomenal is an understatement.
Unit, I think, is what we can.
Amazing human being, and funnily enough, when I went through a stage where I was having like massive panic attacks and anxiety and stuff, and I put it on social media, and I think it was before I started my business, or it was really early days. My phone number wasn't the phone number I had at that time wasn't anywhere. I'd sort of seen him once at Moona Auto Parts, and I walked in, someone else served me, and he sort of recognised me, and he was on the phone and acknowledged me. And that was the only run-ins I'd had. I had all this mental health stuff going on. After a month, I was just that drained, put something on Facebook about how this is what I'm going through and whatnot. And then that night, I'm sitting there in Moona Auto Salvage or Parts or whatever, it comes up on my phone. I was like, have I ordered something? Like, what's this about? And then again, I was like, maybe this is like this. I was avoiding the call. I was like, fuck, I better answer. And it was Mozza. And he was like, hey, mate, I saw your status because we were friends on Facebook. He's like, I just thought I'd ring you up and just touch base. And I was like, like not even my like really close mates did that at that point. I've got awesome support around me now.
Yes.
But that just, I just could not believe it that this bloke. And then he rang me up a fair few times to check on me, and that's the sort of like the person he was, sort of thing. And I suppose that's where I became aware of you with the whole. You guys were
Well, I was his sidekick, really.
Yeah, definitely.
He's basically the Pied Piper of awesome, and I met those guys through motorsport.
Yeah,
many years ago, and it was just an accidental merging of two comets, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, he was up there doing some stuff with Rally Taz, 20-something years ago, and I got invited to a party, and he ran and was the leader of what was known as the Max Boost crew, which was just a basic impromptu, informal club of absolute loons. And so I was invited to go back to Jason White, who obviously Targa, people know him from his motorsport and Targa, and he was up at the northwest coast in his workshop, and I was invited to his workshop, and they had an old air run nail gun. And they were townies, like all the Max Boost crew, they're freaking townies. So they were trying to get this nail gun to work off this compressor, and they didn't have a clue what they were doing. So I went and helped them and sorted it out. And then they were just firing it. And then I showed them how to get some wire and to wire and twitch the safety back. And then I took the regulator off the compressor and just fed it all the air it could get at once. And then just semi-automatic fired this thing. And nails were flying around the workshop, and they all ducked for cover. And then I think Jason White and Mozza said, right, this guy's in the Max Boost group. And that was it. But if we go back to the point I was making about the powerboats, is that I got dragged into that. Now, believe it or not, people are going to just look at how comfortable I am here.
Yeah.
This would petrify me in primary school and high school. Yeah. And when I would win a football trophy at the end of the year, I would know that they'd say, and I would not go. And I would not go to school. I would feign anything not to go. If I was asked to go up to the assembly to speak or do it, it was not happening. Right up until high school, all through my surf club career, if I was to get a trophy, there was no speaking. It was just like, thanks, bang, gone, I'm out of there. And like if I would get, you mentioned anxiety, that's the only time in my life that I feel that I had anxiety. I hated it with a passion.
So what was the sort of, what changed?
Mozza, he tricked me into it. And so he was a gun. He was effortless at the microphone. He was effortless at being a people person. I was a people person.
Yeah.
But put me on a stage or in front of a microphone, and I was in full shutdown. So he had his clipboard that he would use. He had a great memory. Like I don't think it was photographic, but in regards to details, his mind was as sharp as. So if he went up to someone in the pits and asked them about their car, he would ask 20 people about their car. He would go back to when it was time to do the microphone, and he could just peel that off as if it was spoken. Where it was me, I'm completely opposite. I forget my kids' names. I forget everything. Like kids' birthdays, got no idea. Parents' birthdays, nothing. And so when we would go to an event, he would drag me along, and he tricked me, basically. So it started out at local gravel rallies where we would be asked to do presentations, or he would, and he'd say, oh, come up and give me a hand. I'm like, no. Like, we're mates. And I said, no, you can get stuffed. It ain't happening. He'd go, no, I just want you to hold me notebook. Oh, okay. So I'd hold his notebook, and then he was cunning. He was very clever, and he knew that in my little element I'd be fine, and I just had to get past that. And so he would ask me questions that I knew, not without notice, but without notice. But I had a grounding in it.
Yep.
And then we built this bit of a rapport together on mic, and everyone loved it. So we'd take the piss out of each other, and we'd go a little bit left and right, and get a bit loose, and that. And in the end, we were asked to go and do the World Series Outlaws in Toowoomba.
Wow.
When the voice of the World Series Outlaws was sick or got laryngitis or something, or he had a clash of dates, and they rang Moz, and that was the testament of the man. Like if one, he had the skills, and two, they knew that he would drop everything and just go to help. And so I'd get dragged along to that. So he'd do the clever stuff, and I'd do the stuff in the pits. Yep. Same thing with the Geelong Festival of Speed. That was a fantastic event. He'd go and be the main feature. and I'd just do the bit pieces and supply the B-roll, and it was great fun, and we got to travel the nation doing that. And it's not stuff that people would see. Most of us know us from probably our fishing stuff, but it was really the motorsport stuff that. Oh, and the voice of drifting for World Time Attack. He is so loved. Mozza is so missed and so loved from World Time Attack, and that's a big international event. He held that together in the drifting space.
That was one thing that I never saw. I never like the drifting side of it. Never really been. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, never really been into it as such. But that surprised me massively at his the funeral, which was at the biggest oval, second biggest oval we got in Tassie, in Bellreeve.
Blundstone Arena.
Yep. The amount of people there was phenomenal.
Yep.
But to see sort of that walk of life sort of thing, like you saw all the fishermen and stuff, and a lot of the guys motorsport and whatnot. But I had no idea about the drifting element as such. That was
powerboats.
He really did. It's phenomenal for someone to sort of to have their finger in so many pies.
And the trades.
Yeah.
Painting, radiators, mechanics, just through the parts business.
And even the Ultimate Subaru spares and stuff. I rang him up for stuff that was nothing even remotely to do, like just random things, and he'd track them down.
Oh, unbelievable.
The commitment that bloke had to all, like anything he took his hand at was absolutely phenomenal.
And I mean that funeral in itself could be a segment. I mean, that happened during COVID.
Yeah.
It was the biggest funeral I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It would be, well, there was 3,000 people there, and there was, this is not just making up, there was generally 22,000 people watching online. It shut down their system.
Yeah.
And so that was just phenomenal, and a credit to Simon and Yogi that put that together, because I was a big part of it. But of course, I was in Melbourne during COVID, helping my dad get through a heart operation.
Yep.
And during those travel restrictions and things, like it was touch and go whether I was even going to be allowed to be at the funeral. And I just said to some people that were freaking out about it, "Oh, you won't be able to go." I said, "I don't know what planet you think that we are on.
Yeah.
But I will be going to that funeral."
Yeah.
It was like, they was, "Oh, you can't do this because of this, that, and the rest of it." I said, "Well, you want to call out the National Guard, because that's what's going to stop me."
Yeah.
And I just said, "Look, all this travel restriction, if you find the right people to talk to and pay the right licence, or it just, people say can't because it's their default position.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can't build that. Oh, well, unless I pay someone a great licensing fee and jump through a few hoops, I can. But this thing where they say no." So the very first thing, "Oh, you're only allowed to have 50 people." 50 people? That ain't happening. They said, "How many do you think?" Oh, I said, "Well, it's a weekday, 3,000. If it's a weekend, 6,000. And they said, "Oh, that can't happen." And I just said,
It's going to.
I said, "Hang on, explain to me." And they went through. I said, "Well, hang on, I was just it was just on the back side of COVID." And I said, "Well, I'm involved in the Devonport Regatta, and we had 3,000 people." "Oh, yeah, but that's under the special permit for an event." I tell you what, this is going to be an event.
Yeah.
So you get whoever's in charge of filling out all the paperwork and talk to everyone that needs it, and we just made it happen.
Yeah.
And Yogi, Simon, they were phenomenal, and their wives, and it was just all pulled it together, and it was a really, really good tribute. One we would have, rather not happened.
Yeah.
But as far as a celebration of life, and then that moments out at Baskerville was just phenomenal.
I still remember one of the last things. I think I just got this. I wouldn't say a habit, because not that people sort of die all around me, sort of thing, but. When people have died, I generally I go back to their Facebook. I don't know if that's a common thing or not, and or their Instagram, whatever, and have a look at their sort of the stuff they were posting, like their last days, sort of thing. And I still and I did that with Moz, and I still remember when he actually posted it. But his young fella it was some sort of racing game on the PlayStation.
Yep.
And I remember Mozza, because I think I actually commented on it, I was talking about it. But he put up a thing. He was just like, "I don't get it. Like, we were outside, we were doing this and doing that." And then you could see the cogs turning. And then he was like, "Oh, maybe this was just like that's this day and age." And then the next day he put a status up, and he was like, it was something along the lines of, "I've been thinking about it, and it doesn't matter what it is. It's just us spending time because his young bloke was all excited to show him this game.
Yeah, Sammy's really into that sort of stuff.
And he was like, oh, so, yeah, he was going to get one of his old racing helmets and put it on and go and sit there and, like, watch the thing. I still remember that. I was like, fuck, that's, like, he's bang on. Like, it's joining those dots.
That's what he used to be. He used to come out with some pretty ludicrous statements, but he would then just think through stuff, and then he'd work himself round to a position that was pretty humble and also, you know, just seated right in, I suppose, common sense. You know, he was a fairly sort of basic sort of a human, and he did shoot from the hip with some ludicrous stuff, but he would finally get to the point where, he used to have a crack at me though.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because the gaming, I started gaming hard, and it was out of the blue. I wasn't a gamer as a kid. Like, I had a Commodore 64 and played Impossible Mission, you know. And like, but I mean, once I discovered girls and motorbikes and cars, and gaming was sort of dead to me. You know, hunting, shooting, fishing.
Yeah.
But here about 7 years ago, my son, who was 10 at the time, wanted a PlayStation, and of course he wanted the bells and whistles. So I went into what's that place that sells them?
JB?
No, the other one.
Harvey Norman?
No, the one that's right into games and
EB?
EB Games or something.
EB Electronics?
ED, something like that.
Yeah,
it was in. I think it's EB Games.
Yeah.
So I was in there and I bought this console. They had a package deal with this game. So so I thought I'd better set it up, learn how to use it, and I looked at the game. It's got an R rating on it. I said, why is a computer game for kids got an R rating on it? And I didn't understand. So I thought, I better have a look at this, because Mason said, can I play this? I said, well, I'll just have a look. So it was Battlefield 1.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So it's the Battlefield that is sort of back in in World War One era. So I played the lead up to it. I played the quests, and then I was like, I can see what's going on here, because it was a little bit gory. But when I discovered and didn't understand that I could get 5 people, it's 4 in Call of Duty, but it was 5 mates. I've got 1 in Victoria, 1 in New Zealand, a couple around the nation, and we have got headsets on like these. Like, I think I paid $300-400 for my headsets, gaming headsets, nowadays, and I got hooked. Because I could talk to mates and have the time of my life playing as a squad. And not my role, because my aiming was shit. You know, I've grown up not gaming. They were all excellent. Yeah. They're all using snipers, and I'm using this just big SMG, which I just use cover fire and just keep everyone's heads down while they did all the clever shit. But, man, it was addictive. I still do it now. I'm a Call of Duty freak. I love it. Oh, yeah, I'm fully into Call of Duty. And you look at me going...
Yeah, you wouldn't
pick it. This bloke's not a Call of Duty guy, but I just love it. And I love the young fellas when you turn on them and fry them. Yeah. And then they'll say something, because you've got that thing where you can chat. Yeah. Particularly in S&D, they get gobby. Because if I say, calm down, or something like that, they pick my voice. You sound about 40. I say, well, as a matter of fact, I'm 50, and how do you feel about an old 50-year-old like turning and frying you in the face? It's just gold. It's just gold.
I was into games a fair bit when I was younger. I mean, like the PlayStation 2, I think was like the big one that came out when I was like my first gaming console, and I had Nintendo 64s, and then the other PlayStations as they sort of went on. But the whole like the doing it as a team, so that wasn't a big thing when it first started. But even so, like I was pretty good at it. I like to think, and then I probably stopped from when I was 18, 19. And I didn't do it again until probably, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Yep. My eldest, he was playing Fortnite. Yes. And I was like, give us a raz. And he was like, you'll be shit. I was fuck, I was about to, take a seat, mate. You're about to get taught. And I was horrible. Yes. Like the difference, I was so quick on the controls. But now I swear, like what I'd do in like 2 presses of a button, these guys would do like 8. Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. Like, and I was terrible. And fuck, it pissed me off. So bad. Just, getting smoked by these little lippy kids. And like Moz would have a crack at me. Yeah, like he would just fair dinkum fly me. He was thinking it was a waste of time. And I just said to him, look, I don't drink or smoke. Like I used to drink when I played football and was in the surf club. I'd drink with the best of them. Mm. But I just got to about 25, 28, and we would poison ourselves. And of a Sunday morning, I'm not talking about a hangover. Yeah. I'm talking about a state
that if I could put a handgun to my roof of my mouth, I would have just ended life. Like, that is really badly hangover.
Yeah.
And so I just decided, look, I'm going to lament all these wasted Sundays when I'm 70 odd. So I just stopped drinking, which was good for Mozza, because I made that decision pre even knowing Mozza.
Yeah.
Now, Mozza liked to drink.
I remember you used to drink those double black.
I used to drink pretty much, it didn't matter. And so all his mates Max Boost crew loved to drink. So here's this mad hoon, myself, that loves to hang with these guys, doesn't drink. I was the taxi.
Yeah.
I was the ultimate bloody designated driver before designated drivers. And I mean, we've got some stories where they were all blind and we ended up breaking into Mount Wellington. So it's
and you're sober, or
I'm sober. I have to be sober because these loons need checking. So it was decided that we would go to the top of Mount Wellington with a green machine. You know, the old green machine.
Those like skiddy bike things.
Yeah, not an original one. They were the Fortune, but they about 10 years ago they came out with a green machine.
Yeah, you could get them from like Kmart when they first got like commercialised sort of thing.
Yeah, so we got these two green machines, and we used to race them around the house, which was called Hollywood back in the day, which was up at South Hobart somewhere.
Yeah.
And so they were all blind, and it was decided that we'd all pile in the van and we'd go up to the mountain because it was snowing, and we'll do some green machining. It sounds pretty reasonable at the time. And so when we got there, the gate was locked. I'm from the Northwest Coast, so we go up to Cradle Mountain whenever we want, and the gate was locked, so that's a bit random. So it was decided that we'd resurrect that and troubleshoot and rectify that. So we got this big snap-on bar, and I could just get onto the lock.
Yeah.
And when I was hauling on this big snap-on bar, when it let go, I wasn't sure it was the bar or my elbow had broken, but when we looked down, the lock was on the ground. So up we go. And now this is 8 years ago, so statute of limitations apply.
I think it's 10 years for a criminal act.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
Well,
but anyway, we're in too deep now.
Come and get me. Yeah, we're balls deep. So, so the boys all cheered. They all went up as one. So we drove up, and we're in this Econovan. And now Mozza liked weird-ass vehicles. So we got this Japanese import Econovan, which has got, it was the most luxurious Ford Econovan you've ever seen in your life. You know those vehicles that the Japs decide to, Japanese, they pimp them out.
Yeah.
So it's got 17,000 cup holders. It's got a sunroof. It's got all the bells and whistles. And here we are trying to get up the mountain in this Econovan. So it took us 3 or 4 runs because the snow was pretty heavy. And I'll never, ever forget we lost Whitey. So there's a video where I've...
Is that a person?
Jason White.
Oh, right.
We've lost Jason White. Whitey, not spelt W-H-I-T-E-Y, just Y-T. Whitey.
Right, yeah.
So there's some old VHS footage of me just coming off this cliff because on this green machine, just vertical drop about 12 foot into a snowdrift. Boom. I'm the sober one, mind you.
Yeah.
Whitey, not so much. We've lost him. We're on the mountain. We can't find him. So it's snowing. It's sleet. The lights are terrible. The conditions are terrible. It's pitch black dark, and we can't find him. And someone said, well, we saw him heading down the mountain. What walking? No, on the green machine. Right. So we're after him. But we couldn't go too quick because it was actually, this is the reason why the gate was shut. It was hell treacherous.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't too much traction going on. And I'll never forget, out of the looming darkness and the snow drizzle, here is he'd be 6'4", Whitey, I reckon.
Yeah.
He looks like a crayfish on this on this green machine. He's all knees out the side. Yeah. He's pedalling his little heart out, and out of the mist and the darkness, here is at the time a 34-year-old man green machining, and it was just these memories that you just take to the grave. Even if I do end up in court.
I don't think anyone's going to come after you over $100 lock. There's actually footage. Someone, I don't know whether that might have set the tone, but I've seen footage of like a hell of a lot younger blokes who have done that on like a good day. There's footage on YouTube of that, of guys like fucking boogieing down there.
Oh, full luge, yeah. He couldn't get real quick. He got up to a bit of pace, and then he looped out because of he just done these massive pirouettes.
Yeah.
But inside that van, there was 8 people. Couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Tears.
Yeah.
Like we were all as one, just laughing
they're
so hard.
the best memories.
Oh, crazy.
You can't, you can't fake that sort of stuff. And they just said that's the sort of stuff you take to the grave. Like it's It's amazing.
Very much so.
So yeah, and did you and Mozza? I googled it to try and look before, but I swear I remember seeing you guys on the TV. Did you guys have a fishing show on telly?
We didn't have a TV show.
It was just online.
We
was
were
it?
always asked from others to do stuff because they would see, I suppose, our rapport a little bit. It was effortless and we didn't care. And when I say didn't care, we just tried to be ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I think people wanted a piece of that. So we were always approached by people to do something. And we were approached by someone from the mainland, out of the blue, that had seen something and he wanted to do a series. And so Moz and I, if we're asked, we're like Chinese businessmen. We never say no.
Yeah, it's yes.
Yeah. Can you make that cheaper? Yeah, of course we can. Is it going to be any good? No. But so, yeah, we just say yes because the ulterior option is having to do the lawn or something around the house, and no one's got time for that.
No.
So, yeah, lawn will be 6 foot tall, but we'll say yes. And so we did this little snippet around trout, and I'm a trout fisher back in the day. Mozza isn't, so we did this little trout one. And it was on YouTube. Oh, no, that's right. They punched it out as a DVD. That was how long ago that was. And that was pretty cool. People rated it. And then they asked us to do one on YouTube, which was about mako shark fishing. So, yeah, but there is also, I suppose, Facebook and YouTube has allowed people like Moz and I, like blokes that could have and should have concentrated at school a bit more, to have a bit of a impetus and a bit of a ability on socials to put stuff out, like yourself.
Yeah,
very much
sure.
like yourself. That isn't sort of handbraked and appeals to a different demographic. And I think that's what our Facebook, when we were Team Penn, the fishing side of things, that's probably what that guy saw, was our little snippets of when we're out and around Tasmania and around the mainland doing our fishing bits and pieces.
Because you do a lot. That's what you're a public...
engagement officer.
Engagement officer, that's right. So basically the link between sort of the ones that make the rules, the ones that have to apply by them?
I didn't really know what the job was until I started 3 years ago, but yeah, that's basically it. Stewardship, and people think stewardship is about teaching people how to fish, but it's not really. It's about helping people that want to help, the fishing environment. It's as much about doing the right thing as...
the whole fishing as a general, as opposed to just the act of fishing.
And I mean, as recreational fishers, we're all it's different now. We do things totally different. We all look after the fish. Gone are the days where you just sort of tearing hooks out of fish and not thinking about it and throwing them back, because if it's going to be sustainable and these fish are under some pressure, we need to wet the hands, get the device to the de-hooker, all that sort of stuff. That is what I do, and that is help share that comment. But I don't have to push people. People gravitate to it. People want to do the right thing. I do some fishing events where we have a bit of fun. It's not about preaching. It's just about having some fun and listening to their issues. And that way I can feed that to our CEO and also our board. And as a peak body, then we can help steer some comment and sort of engage on issues.
Because recently, like very recently, they've shit canned the flathead fishing in a small part.
Yeah, southeast Tasmania. Look, the decision is the decision, but the biggest part for me, without getting too political about it, is that the decision was made without the proper consultation.
I think that's a lot of people's issue with a lot of government decisions.
Yeah, and I mean, we all want to understand why, and we do understand that in the southeast, the flathead fishing is in decline and depleted. That's fine. But to engage an emergency, act in the legislation without negotiating with the peak body, like, don't worry about me, I'm only the public engagement officer, but our CEO found out by ABC radio ringing and so we've heard this, and that's not right. No. So we support the science, and that's hard work, because people, ever since the 2YK
Oh, yeah.
Remember they said it,
Y2K,
Y2K. You know, science has been
Yeah.
copping a flogging since then, because everyone said the planes were going to fall out of the sky.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, can you remember the turmoil?
I remember.
And can you remember anything that happened bad? I can't.
No, I remember being at a New Year's party, and I remember everyone had like Y2K glasses. I was young as well. I'm 37 now, so it would have been 10 or something, I guess. Yeah, when that happened. But or yeah, maybe 11. But it that was nothing bad came up. But I think the big issue is that, you know, so much time and effort and energy goes into establishing like these committees and these things, and this is important, and you know, we value your opinion, all that, and then something like that can happen and they go, all right, we're not even going to let you know what's happening. This is what we're doing, and then you find it. I feel like it undermines all that sort of stuff, makes you feel like nothing.
And to be fair, in this instance, there was no consultation. And as an example, we've got a boat dealership that was being, and it's just purely a timing thing. And this is what we have to think about. It's not just about the fish, although that's the big part of it. It's about the whole process. By not engaging even boat dealerships, this particular boat dealership was being sort of, you know, rung up and pestered a little bit about the floor plan, so the next season's floor plan.
Yep.
So they keep all these boats on their floor plan. They pay a little bit of money. It's like, you know, buy now, pay later type carry on. That's how they work. And so he had $280,000 worth of small to medium-sized boats that he was being asked to make a decision on or get ordered. It's pretty much a given that this time of year they order them. Where's your order?
Yep.
It was just a pure fluke that before he pressed the green button to get all these small boats from this manufacturer across Bass Strait and into his yard, that this popped up by accident. So can you imagine if it had been out by 7 days? These boats are on the way, manufactured, signed, sealed and delivered, deal done, and you got 280 grams worth of boats that you can't sell because he's right in. Yeah. So that's one part of it. But we just need, and that's why Tarfish have asked for a pause. So I didn't want to make this a Tarfish thing because people probably won't want to talk about that. It'll get a bit bored. But all we're asking is for a pause to say, no, hang on, Woo, let's consult. Yeah. Let's first and foremost find out why the decision was made, because we're not saying we don't agree that there's issues.
No. As you said, it's the consulting. It's the talking to people and as you said, not only that, making it all well known. This is what we think. This is why. This is what will happen. This is, rather than just don't fish anymore. Yeah. But I mean, that's dramatising a lot. But it's it'd be a hard job, I imagine, from time to time.
It's interesting because people, when I first started in my role, people had a preconceived idea of what it was, and I was sort of.
So were you the first one to have this role was created, and then you did? Yeah, okay,
yep. So previously, it's a small board and a CEO, and so I was in game fishing clubs, and I'd heard that Tarfish was this and a patsy, and just basically a trumped up political government arm, and I'd listened, and I didn't know any different. And when they rang up, I was running an event many years ago called Seafest. Well, I wasn't running it. I was trying to reinvent it because it had fallen over. Tribunner had run Seafest for quite some years. It was a council-run event, and then I decided to show game fishing clubs how we could do it, because I was in game fishing committees and it was just on a bit of a decline, and I couldn't get into the game fishing committee that I was in head that a game fishing competition needs to be less about catching fish, and that was just blowing their mind.
Yeah.
They didn't understand what I was on about.
Yeah.
Because my idea and Mozza's idea is it needs to be an event. It needs to be a barbecue. It needs to be a spit roast. It needs to be an old-fashioned 18-gallon keg where people see that you stick the thing in it and have cheap beers and people then that don't catch a fish or win a prize still go.
You still feel like you're a part of something.
Yeah, but you go, I want to come back next year. That was great fun. Oh, do you remember when such and such did this? And a few people caught a fish, but they couldn't get their head around that. So Tribunner, I took that on board and basically did a little bit of a party at Tribunner. And the ladies on the council said, "Oh, we used to do Seafest." I said, "Well, why don't we do it again?"
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a gap. I said, "But let's do this. Let's have a little bit of a thing on the wharf," because they had a heap going on down at Tribunna. They had all this infrastructure being built. It's amazing down there. Best boat ramp in Tasmania.
It's a wicked setup there, and the Tribunna Fish Fair. That's like a little cult following of its own sort of thing.
Yeah. And so it didn't lend itself to a game fishing comp as easily as what you might think, because there's such a long run before you get out to, and then you got another long run to the fish. But luckily we caught fish, the little bit of a boat show. We had a boat show. We had face paint for the kids, because that's another thing. What happens with these fishing events? It's all about the blokes.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, let's make it about the families and kids. So we had something to do for the mums while all the blokes were out fishing. So in the first year, in an era when they were declining and they were only getting 20 and 30, we got 78 boats.
Yeah, wow.
And where I'm going with this is Tarfish rang up and wanted to be a part of it. Yeah. And I'd heard that Tarfish was this boogeyman, you know. Yeah. They rocked up, couldn't have been any further from the truth.
Yeah,
the CEO was a hell of a nice man. He was just trying to fly the flag for recreational fishers. I found out that it was and still is, a not-for-profit organisation. It was the peak body for recreational fishers. It was the only people or the only body that was just saying, "Oh, no, hang on, woo," when people were saying, "You need to do this and do this." Mm. And so rec fishers at the time were anti-tarfish because they'd heard all these rumours. And there was some history about how it was, you know, run. You can imagine, like committees. Yeah. Committees are hard work at the best of times. Yeah. So it was interesting, and I learned a great deal. And so then I was asked a couple of years later to be on the committee or the board as the northern representative, and I learnt a great deal more. And then there's this role come up, and I had to go through it and jump through hoops. Mm. I had to sit through a panel and go through and I had to do those, what do you call those things when you do a job and you have to respond to those? selection criteria.
Just fucking worse,
man. My God. I come from an era where you got a job because the bloke knew you were hard at it, you know. Oh, yeah, Hooch, he's wicked. Let's get into that. Yeah. This selection criteria carry on drives me to drink it. We just heard I don't drink.
Yeah, it's a lot. And a lot of the things, like I see videos and stuff all the time of people responding to, like making videos about responding to job ads and stuff and interviews I've had. So why are you really drawn to work for this company, all that? I mean, it's fucking money. Yeah. Like at the end, don't get me wrong, there are places that people like to work. At the end of the day, you're just another company. Like people are there for the fucking money.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think I think one of the feathers in my cap, because I was bold enough to say, well, I don't think there's anyone in Tasmania that's going to handle the hate that's going to come at this person in this role.
Yeah.
And they were like, the selection board was like, what? And I said, look, this is like, from my experience with Team Penn, we were the first fishing group of blokes to have the audacity to accept a sponsorship package and have a big vinyl wrap up the side of our boat.
Yeah.
The hate that we got.
Really?
Oh, my Godfather.
What? On what? Like, what's
because
that based
of
on?
jealousy, because egos.
But what were they? I get that sort of people. What was their their justification for?
Well, I suppose the game fishing set. So all of a sudden, and I sort of get it, but not really to the extent. So all of a sudden, you've got a 7. It was a 5.5 metre boat at the time.
Yeah.
Sponsored boat, sponsored outboard, sponsored equipment. Now we worked pretty hard to get that.
Yeah.
But that was on the back of a team that I know. Clinton Howe is a very dear friend of mine. He's an excellent game fisher, has been for 100 years. His dad was a great fisherman. And so I used to fish with those guys, but no one really knew or remembered because I was a bit part player. So then I left the game fishing and Moz didn't do game fishing. We were all about the motorsport. And then our mate Howie said, why don't you want to come game fishing? So Moz and I just had a couple of weekends. We loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. And we thought, well, we were falling out of the car stuff because of our kids and that were getting older. And then we thought, we'll just get into this fishing. So we bought the energy and the enthusiasm and some of the stuff we'd learned around sponsorship from the motorsport side of things into this game fishing, which was unheard of. And so all of a sudden, these two blokes, me and Moz, have rocked up with this...
I can see,
this boat with a massive wrap on the side of it. And so I get it.
Yeah.
And so I used to pushed back pretty hard. And Mozza hates people thinking bad of him, so he couldn't deal with it. And it was one of the wives, Clinton's wife said, Sharon, and it was the crux of the whole thing going way better, because it could have been, it got rough. These people, when hate comes on you, and it doesn't really worry me, but I couldn't handle what it was doing to Mozza.
Yeah.
He couldn't fathom, hang on a minute, why these people hate me? They don't even know me.
I suppose it'd be hard, as you said. You guys, people tend to gravitate towards you too. You're both big personalities and stuff, so to come essentially straight in there. And at the end of the day, fishing's expensive as shit. Like big boats, rods. Look, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
For you guys to be getting some help with that, and I suppose somewhat instantly in a lot of people's eyes.
Yes.
It would piss a lot of people off. All the hours it's the same with hunting and stuff. Like that's the thing. I think a lot of people don't realise with anything. I think people just don't see what goes on behind the scenes. Like a lot of, as we were talking about, like with all this stuff beforehand, setting up this podcast, and like a lot of this is, I make a little bit of money off Patreon, and I get people make, you fucking row, and I'm like, this was weeks of setting up and running around, and all of this. I'm here like an hour setting up before it all goes on. And then people that just might come along and see something from one point, don't see all the stuff that goes into.
You hit the nail on the head. Like we give up our weekends, and like once you're a sponsored angler or a brand ambassador, they come at you. Can you go to this boat show? Can you go to Agfest? And we do it at the drop of a hat, and we loved it. And it was crucial that Sharon said this phrase: "You just got to be the bigger men."
Yeah.
Just be the bigger man. And we didn't really understand what that meant. And that said, don't push back, just do what you do.
I bet you a lot of people too, given the opportunity, that stuff that people wouldn't realise, they probably wouldn't want to do it. If it was like, all right, you can have all this stuff, you've got to bring that energy rower, and you've got to, on your weekend, you can't do what you want to do. You've got to go to this or got to go to that,
and we jumped in with boots and all. And people might be able to do it for a week or a month or 3 months, but to keep it up for as long as we did, it's good fun. But that's why you get the reward. I told the boys that we need to turn the tap off. I try to tell them we need to build a dam of goodwill with all these people that have said they're going to support us. And they said, what do you mean, Hooch? I said, well, I see a lot of people, particularly in motorsport and other sponsors, they just got the hand out all the time. And for 12 months, we did more than what we were getting. And I said to the boys, we need to turn the valve off. Yeah. And trickle it when we need to, but we build up this dam of goodwill, and we show them that our hearts are in it, our minds are in it, we're engaged, and we're fair income. And after 12 months, the people that were supporting us, they were taking us away to boat shows on the mainland. Yeah. We were taken to events and helped pay for going to the biggest marlin fishing competition in Australia, which is the interclub competition, and by a fluke, we ended up leading that for 2 weeks. It was only the last couple of hours of that first ever comp that we didn't win that outright, and that was a bit of a funny thing because of the weather. They live bait a lot. They pull up on the fish on those big boats. I'm talking millions of dollars worth of boats. Yeah. And here we are in this little aluminium tin can, and we're tearing all these well-respected marlin fishermen a new arsehole. And it was just a bit of a fluke because the weather allowed us to troll lures. They weren't live baiting, so they're trolling lures. That's our bread and butter, trolling lures. Yeah. But one thing we also did was Mozza and I got there very early for the President's address. And I was looking at some of the things that they had on the tables and how their stuff was rigged. And their marlin lures were rigged way different to our tuna lures. Remarkably different. Yeah. Our hooks are too heavy gauge. Our leaders were all too heavy. Some of the way we were crimping them wasn't quite right, because being able to hook a marlin and have it attack the lure is the first part. The second part is having it stay connected and not jump off. And so all this fine gauge hook. So Mozza and I, we were up till 2 or 3 a.m. re-rigging all our stuff before this event. And then when the event was on, we were so keen, we wanted to make sure we didn't look like idiots. So we got up really early, and when the sun came up, there was 198 boats. Wow. And we were about 12 trailer boats. The rest of them are all these
big riviera, like flybridge type things.
When the sun started, and we're like, oh, what have we got ourselves into? But to lead that event, on the first safety sked, we tagged 2 fish, and you got to call in what you tag. And so tagging 2 fish is 2, 2 and 2. You've hooked 2, you've played 2, and you've got 2 tags in.
Yep.
Well, because we were one of the last boats, we got to listen to the safety sked, and they report zeros. Nothing caught.
Anticipation would have been building.
And and this is another memory I will take to the grave, is that I'm on the helm, Mozza's on the radio. We got the skipper, Howie, and our other crew member, and there was one other boat that had tagged, and we were Team Penn, Simrad Fishing. We're 2, 2 and 2. So, and then my phone starts going because the people that we'd befriended thought, oh, these Tassie blokes have cocked it up, And then the next sked we were 3, 2, 2. So we're 4 fish up on the field.
Yeah.
And the phone, and they thought we'd muck it up. I said, no, we've tagged 4 marlin, and it was just crazy.
Is that in one day?
Yeah, that was one day. And here's a funny story, and this is why it's a fluke as much as anything. One, the weather suited us with towed lures, but they have a sail pass, and so you got to go out to what they call the car park in New South Wales, which is where they do all their live baiting. Because of the weather was pretty ordinary, and we didn't know where the car park was, so we thought this car park was one coordinate, but we spoke to some people who got different coordinates. So it's this bit of a funny bottom that's a bit of a funny shape that creates and attracts bait, and the bait, depending on the tide, comes up, balls up, marlin goes absolutely nuts on it, which is their live baiting technique, drop baiting. We're roaring out there. We're behind because we're one of the last boats. Howie doesn't like to not be fishing and so we're travelling, not fishing. So he's crabby.
Yeah.
And I needed a piss. And it was like, when you're travelling with your dad to somewhere and Dad goes, well, make sure you go to the toilet. And then half an hour later, I need to go to the toilet. Dad's furious. Well, Howie's furious because we're about 3/4 of the way to the shelf. And I just said, oh, nah, does anyone else need a piss? And Mozza said, yeah, no, I can do it. So we stopped for having a pee. And the water quality, and I said to Howie, this water looks excellent. If we were in Tassie, there is no way in good conscience that we would drive over this water. And so we just put the lures out, and we started banging juvenile black marlin and striped marlin well inside where the big boats were all steaming.
Are you allowed to be in there?
Yep. Wow. That's within the map.
Yep.
And you call that in and tell them where you are. That's part of the safety procedures. But but we were sight fishing marlin. We were travelling along these big swells, and at one stage I was on the helm, and I'm going, and I started just what I call a crazy Ivan. I just banged 3 big right hand downs.
Yeah.
And we started, and Howie's at the back going, what are you doing? I said, I've just seen a marlin. He said, what do you mean you just seen it? I seen a marlin, like with the big swells. It's in the swell, and he said, oh, it wouldn't have been a marlin.
That'd be fun.
I said, Howie. He goes, it would have been a dolphin fish. Howie, I know what a dolphin fish looks like. It was a marlin. So as I'm circling around, and we'd spent about, 8 minutes in that area, and he was starting to carry on, bang, we're on. We pulled 2 fish from that spot.
Oh, really?
Yep. And we got the following day, we got Mozza, and we're all taking turns because it's a bit of an embarrassing fact that we'd never actually caught a marlin in Tasmania.
Before this, so this was your first time catching marlin?
No, it was not our first time fishing for them because we've hooked plenty, but they've all jumped off because unbeknownst to us, we're using these big gauge hooks and these way too big a leaders.
Yeah.
And hooked a marlin. Next minute, it's on for 2 minutes, bang, off. Or bill wrapped. A lot of times they'll just be bill wrapped. They won't even be hooked. They'll just, because a marlin will come up to the lure and smack it, so they'll half hitch themselves. And so they'll half hitch themselves, and they'll hook the line and go in one direction. That's fine, but as soon as they turn the other direction, it just falls off. So that's what's happened to us about 10, 15 times. But this particular time, so we're all taking turns at catching our first marlin, and another time getting Mozza onto his first marlin, and his was a big marlin, striped marlin. It was caught on this thing called a bonga jerk, which is we'd gone out way further trying to find some bigger blue marlin, and we'd put this lure on because there was a few yellowfin tuna about. We thought we might catch one of those and eat it, but as Murphy's Law, Mozza's marlin jumped on this thing called the bonga jerk, and Mozza's first marlin was funny because he was the most unfit human you've ever seen in life. He'd been on this fish for about 25 minutes and he was peeking and carrying on, and we were pouring water down his back and trying to get him through and talking him through, and it was just gold. Yeah, but to meet all those guys, and now all those people that met Moz up there now are all lifelong friends of mine, and would have been his, because he just created such an aura around. And he ended up being invited to MC the frickin' trophy awards of the biggest marlin competition in Australia, and it was just gold. It was just gold.
That's brilliant. And you spent? Did you spend some time in Canada?
No.
Didn't you?
No.
I did. I was researching before.
That might be a different Kelly Hunt.
No, it must have been. Well, obviously must have been. I was going to ask what the fishing was like there, but never mind.
Oh, is that from Facebook? You see me talk a bit about Canada, or there's a guy that is from Canada?
Nah, to be fair, I think it was like I just Googled it. So I was going through your Facebook, stuff and refreshing things, making notes, and then I Googled some stuff. So you've got a big presence on Google, I suppose, just because you're done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that freaks my kids out.
But
they must have had this thing where they Googled their parents or something. And there's a bit on there, isn't there?
There's a lot. I mean, most people have got something about them. At just the age of social media, everyone's on. There's information about everyone, everywhere, sort of thing. But no, that was one of the things that come up about Canada. But
I am keen to go. I have got a friend who somehow befriended Mozza, so all of a sudden he was a friend of mine. So I've always been keen to go and catch up with him. But I'm a huge Bad Chad fan. Bad Chad is a hot rodder that's got a YouTube channel. He had a show on Discovery, and then when COVID all shut that down, they decided they'd do their own thing, and it's gone really well for him.
I was going to say, I've heard of stories of people doing that when they take control of themselves, and you got more reign with it, sort of thing.
Yep, and so I'm desperately keen to go to Canada, because just through some weird life thing, Bad Chad's son Colton, who is on this YouTube channel that has an amazing following, I noticed 6 months ago is watching my stories. So his son is watching my stories.
Yeah, wow.
And so I messaged him and said, g'day, mate. So this big YouTuber guy that has actually, Bad Chad inspired me when I was actually down about Moz.
Yeah.
I had a lot of time on my hands because Moz and I used to fill some gaps in our calendar, and I was at that stage where I was on the couch a bit too much, playing too much Call of Duty, and I was in a bit of a rough, and Bad Chad got me incentivised to get back out in the shed and just build shit and try not to lose my fingers, which I'm constantly in danger of, because I don't have any trade.
No.
I just love mucking with cars. I love building shit. And so he is a guy that just has a crack. He builds stuff on the floor. He cuts roof off cars that everyone goes, you can't cut the roof off that. And he just says, hold my beer.
There's a massive, massive market. But there's so many people that do amazing shit.
Yeah.
Self-taught or you're watching them teach themselves and discover these, the ways to do things, stuff. And far out, they come up with some cool shit.
I think I align with him a little bit too, because not only is he sort of my kind of guy, he also, for some reason, gets a lot of hate on his YouTube and social media because he doesn't do things the right way.
Yeah.
From a
social point
of
view.
No, like the right way. There's a right way to cut the roof off a car and to get it done if you've got $80,000 and all the skills and all the tools. He cuts the roof off with a grinder, one of them Recipros, and he's got a welder.
Yeah.
And so if he cuts her off and she's a mess, he just fixes it. And sometimes he's got the audacity to get a coat hanger because the gaps are too big, and he'll stitch a coat hanger into the gap. Yeah. And I just go, I'm big with that.
Yeah, it works.
I'm good with that. But, all the people that can't do it but know that that's not really how you do it, the hate that they launch on this guy. So I sort of because I'd push him back to some of the haters.
Yeah.
And I think Colton might have seen that and wondered, who is this guy? Because it's a sport for me.
Right.
It's actually sport for me to have a whimsical, comical pushback to a flog.
Yeah.
And so, I think Colton might have wondered, who's this guy popping up with these funny retorts?
That's a really cool circle, roundabout.
So now I'd love to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Catch up with Macoba, which is a modern pen friend. Never
Yeah.
met him.
Yeah.
And then go and catch up with
His old
Colton
man.
and his old man.
Yeah.
And then I'd love to buy an old car and drive to Florida to catch up with, or not catch up with, but probably just go to a Cletus McFarland.
Yeah.
A Cletus McFarland event.
Yeah.
Because those guys are just solid gold. They are just the craziest, coolest dudes.
For sure. I think that's a dream for a lot of blokes, as you said, just having a go, just having the means to be able to do cool shit. The stuff that you want, sort of thing.
Cletus McFarland was in college 1.5 years into a law degree.
What? Shit, I didn't realise that.
Come home from college and said, and he was doing the 1320 videos. He was just a sidekick, not getting paid, just a sidekick, helping 1320 do their videos. And he's come home from college and said, you know, Mum and Dad, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And they lost their shit, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
And look at where he is now. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. It's so I used to make a living off the social media stuff, and
nice.
I'm glad that it didn't work out, because I would have been dead the way that I was living my life for rehab and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And then stopped making money off it, obviously, and then remonetized it all after rehab and started getting my sort of stuff back together. And I was like, I'll do a little bit here and there, sort of thing. And now it ticks along all right, but actually today in an hour and a half I've got to meet a bloke because I'm going to sell my business, because I was talking to many a lengthy conversation about it, because between this podcast and the money that I make off social media, I can survive off it. Like, it's not like, it won't be the same level of life I'm living now, but I'll be able to put more into it to build it up.
And that's the way you want to go, follow your dream. Well
it
done.
Is. It's...
you can always go back to whatever you do.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm a diesel mechanic by trade. Not that I've done that for years, but and that's the other beauty of it. Like, my parents, they were like, "Oh, you know, you've built, like, my business is going gangbusters at the moment." They're like, "Oh, you've spent so long building this up, and it's, you know, they've seen the numbers, like, it's going brilliant." I said, "I just feel really at peace. I feel this is what I'm drawn to do, and that's what I want to do." But not only that, I'm sort of very lucky in that, like, all the stuff that I put on social media, you know, I'm reaching millions of people every month. So if I do sell everything, and then I decide, fuck, this isn't working out, I've got to get a real job, or, you know, I'll probably always work for myself in some regard.
Yep.
But then instantly there's millions of people that I'm reaching. Not all of them might be a customer of whatever I start doing, but if I buy another water truck or was to do something like that, instantly got clientele, sort of thing, which I've been very, very lucky with. And that sort of gives me a bit of peace as well, sort of thing. But it's crazy how, like, just even still now, I understand how it all works, understand where the money comes from and all that, but it's fucking weird to think about.
Oh, isn't it? And it does my dad's head in, because I do some stories. That's all I do.
Yeah.
I just do some stories. You know, they go a minute, and if the video goes longer than a minute, it's a full pain in the ass, because I've got to cut, you know, and like whatever. And so I do a heap of them, and I end up getting between 600 and 1,200 people watching them, which in your space is nothing.
It's big. That's still good, yeah.
But if I stop doing it, because I'll be in the shed and I'll film something, and Dad will go, "Oh, I don't know why you effing bloody bother, blah, blah." So it's because if he's holding something while I'm trying to weld it or do something, and I stop to film, it's like of Dad's era, like 70 something. He just thinks, "What? Yeah, are you even bothering?" And so when I stop, we'll be in Bunnings buying some nuts and bolts, or we'll be down somewhere, and some random strange, because I shoot mine out, I don't care. Like, mine's out there, and so I'll get random strangers in Bunnings come up and talk about this project I might be doing at the time or something. Dad will go, "Who's that?" So I don't know. He goes, "What do you mean you don't know?" I said, "Well, I don't know." Well, he sounded like he knew you. I said, well, he probably just watches these videos. Yeah. And then Dad still doesn't agree with it or think it's of any value, but you can see, yeah. And all I do it for is pushback.
Yeah.
Because it's social media. And more I see it's anti-social media, and I'm not having it. So I just push out me doing stupid stuff, carrying on, don't care, hopefully entertaining someone, maybe a tidbit of handy information. Yeah. With my stuff, though, it's not really... I'm not going anywhere with it, but maybe, you know, now...
But you got that option. I mean, if you keep that momentum, there might be something at some point that you feel strongly enough that you go, like, I've got to voice my opinion, tell the world about this.
I look at it this way. I could stop doing what I'm doing on social media and I could put it into playing golf. That ain't going to happen, right? Yeah. Golf is not for me.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to spend 20 hours a week on golf, practicing, buying shit to play golf, playing golf. Well, I just look at it this way. I just do my social media stuff. It's like a hobby for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not looking to, had I been 20 years old today, I would probably have a crack.
I think the hard thing, like people, I mean, I started like 9 years ago, I think it was, and mine blew up like pretty quickly. It was sort of very early days and that sort of stuff. But like every second person seems to be doing it now, to the point where everything's getting pushed. Like, you got to like this, it's got to be something triggering, or you got to be pushing very fine lines and stuff now to get noticed and to get sort of thing. It's definitely a lot harder to do it now than what it was, somewhat back then.
What annoys me is the stuff that is so fake.
Yeah, that was the big thing. So when I was I got to the point where I was making my content and I was still like working and living my real life. I was like, fuck, I've got to choose to do one or the other here. The trouble with that was all of the stuff that I did was my day-to-day life.
Yes.
If I stopped doing that stuff and just focus on then I have to create content, and I never wanted to do that. And I didn't know back then. I was like, oh fuck, how am I gonna manage that now, sort of thing. I got my head around it now, but I struggled back then.
That stuff that annoys me is for the doom scrollers. Right? You're after followers, you're after engagement. So those people that do that rubbish, and those things that they start off doing something and then you watch it, just goes on forever, ever, it just never gets anywhere. Yeah. I just block. If they do that to me, you're blocked.
Yeah.
And if I see something that's deliberately just so fake it makes my actual skin crawl, you're blocked.
Yeah.
And so I just block.
My biggest issue was when I first started filming stuff for YouTube and had Darren Petty, he was filming stuff for me then and doing all the editing and whatnot. And that took off like really, really quickly. But he understood it a hell of a lot better than what I did. I was just real arrogant.
Yeah, he's been quiet.
Yeah, no. He understood that side of it more than what I did. Yeah. So he's like, this is what we need to do. He understood that you need these short, sharp. You got to hold these people's attention. But I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. I want to make hour-long. I want my day like an hour-long thing, which is what we did. And there's a lot of them still on YouTube now. And like I still love them. I'm so happy with them. That's what I wanted to do. But I know there's a lot of stuff that I should have done before I got to that point. And even now when I put videos and stuff out, they've got to be under the 3-minute mark, or they're not, like for Instagram, or under 3 minutes, or they're not shared to like new potential followers and all that stuff. You got to grab people's attention in the first, I think it's like 2.5, 3 seconds generally. And like the sciencey stuff behind that, which sucks because that's not like, it's not what I want to do.
Exactly. And you see people like Bad Chad's the hour long.
Yeah,
and there is space for that hour long.
Yeah,
but it's just you're going to have to find your groove, I suppose. And you can still do both. You can still do those little grabs and then do your hour long.
Yeah,
because that's what they all do. But what about the guy that is the freak of nature, and that's that guy that just destroys stuff?
Whistling Diesel.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
He's
a phenomenon.
I remember back like years ago when he first started, and like the first sort of version of that Monster Max, that big monster truck he's got, and he first started doing that, and then you can sort of like, I remember watching it happen. Like he broke something, and he obviously recognised that got like good views and stuff.
Yep.
And it just becomes more and more, and now to the point where he just destroys shit.
He likes to harvest the hate.
Yeah, and he understands that. I mean, if that's what your goal is, to make money and stuff, he's killing it.
Yeah.
I remember he bought a T model Ford, a T model Ford at auctions, destroyed it. This thing, and I was like, it got to me. But I mean, if that's what your goal is, to make money, then
he's doing it.
Don't
worry,
he's doing well.
Yeah, that noise in the background, that's him just making money.
Yeah, but I mean, again, everyone's in it for different reasons, and it's.
Whereas the reason I like Cletus McFarlane is because he is wholesome.
Yeah,
he is. I imagine they've got some pretty reasonable Christian values. They don't speak about it too much, but they don't swear. So I get it. It's that American Florida man type thing, and he's just got good values, good people, good mates, and I really gravitate to that, and that's really sort of. If I was ever, which I'm 53 now, I doubt I ever will, but if I was to ever sort of build on it, I wanted to just sort of bring my mates into it and just sort of sing the virtues of mateship support, because we're losing that.
Oh,
the mateship support,
Yeah.
the conversations, we're losing it.
Big time. It's but yeah, it's something else that you had a dab at politics, which which we something we share in common. But how did that come about? Because that was like last minute, sort of right at the end of towards the election sort of thing.
Well, pure and simply because I was asked, and so.
Yeah. But I mean, what got you over the line? Like, you know.
Well, I've had a gutful.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's had a gutful.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a gutful of people that don't have any ideology or idea about how I've lived my lifestyle and want to live it in the future, commenting and making decisions for my electorate of Braddon. Now, Franklin... See, this is how poor a politician I am. I can't even remember another one down here. What's Franklin? What's the other one down here?
Lyons.
No, Lyons is all right. There's a few country.
Clark.
Yeah, there we go. That'll do.
Yeah.
Not Lyons, because that's got a few farms in it and some coastline. But Franklin and Clark may as well be a different planet than Braddon. And so I was asked by Sid Sidebottom, who is a past federal minister, MP. He was my social science teacher, Don College, right?
Yeah, right.
So I got on pretty well with him.
Yeah.
He was my football umpire when I played for Forth, and he used to let me get away with blue murder. And I get on with him.
Yeah.
You know, Anne Urquhart, who was a senator and is now the member for Braddon. I get on well with her because my mum and her worked at the cannery, or what was called Edgell's, which was the vegetable place in Ulverston. So when I was a tiny tacker, I'd sort of met her, but then I worked at a paper mill. So I worked in a few trades, but never had a certificate.
As a tradesman.
Oh, look, I worked as a pretty reasonable trades assistant in construction, but at a level which was more not just a tradie, but never ever got a trade. And I was a brickies labourer for a while. I got a cool job at a place called A.L.S.M. Richardson, which was just sandblasting and painting stuff of some cars stuff, but mainly industrial equipment. Had a ball because I was in my own element. The day went real quick. Had the Sony Walkman, put the Sony Walkman on, and I just sandblast and paint stuff to my heart's content. And then I got a job at Australian paper Wesley Vale, which was a big paper mill. And then one day, Anne Urquhart walked down the floor. She was this union rep, and I signed on because you had to be on the union to be at the thing. So I was a unionist. But I wasn't a unionist.
Yeah.
But eventually, a bit like I became this accidental political candidate, I was an accidental unionist. But I'm not a unionist, you know. I'm just someone that when I went to high school, we come from, say, fourth primary, there was sort of 6 of us into a big school. We come from a school of 25, 40 to this Devonport High School, and all the other schools were sort of knew each other, and so we were the target. And so we got picked on, and I don't put up with getting picked on. And so I spent most of those first 2 years just sticking up for my mates, and that's what I did as a unionist. That's all I wanted to do was stick up for my mates. I didn't get into the nitty-gritties of this union movement thing. I still value unions. They're just a body that sticks up for workers. Like, you know, if you work somewhere, you've got one union that looks after the workers. If you've got 15 different entities that look after the big business. So you know, they're obviously some of the stuff that's gone on with the CFMEU of recent, I don't agree with. Like, as soon as your union font starts to look like LA gangland, you sort of got to think about it a little bit. But we're going down a few rabbit holes here. Accidental unionist. I ended up gravitating to being what they call the father of the chapel, which is the head of the union at Wesley Vale. I quite enjoyed that role. Basically, just learning about people and their plight. And then, accidental political candidate because they asked, people that I respect. And I enjoyed it. I probably surprised a few. I didn't go down the root and shoot and bloody hunt and fishing path that everyone thought I would. I got sort of accidentally stuck into the housing issues and the community stuff.
The stuff that the last thing that people would expect from you, essentially, I guess.
Yeah, but I am a bit of a softie, and I do feel for all demographics. And some of that stuff that's going on in the community at the minute, there's some things that need some balance. But I'm more about my whole, if I go again, and I think I will, is about the hang on, woo. Yeah. That's what I've done all my life.
Yeah.
Whether it's with me mates, if I see something that I'm not quite comfortable with, I don't go, oh, no, I'm not getting involved. I just go, oh, nah, hang on, woo.
Yeah.
And we were going to Newcastle to race a stadium truck with my mate, and I'm just pouring petrol. And these 4 dudes got out of this car, and they were talking to this woman that they didn't know in a manner that I won't even repeat here, but it was disgusting.
Yeah. And
these are 4 giant dudes. And I just ran hang on, woo on them. I said, oh, hang on, woo. Ease up, boys. And they were like, who's this? Who's this bloke? And they got instantly frill neck lizard.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, they swore at me, told me to get stuff. I said, well, you're out of line.
Mm.
That's not how you speak to people, and at the very least a woman.
Mm.
And they said, oh, they couldn't understand how I'd got up in their grill and then doubled. And they said, oh, if we're about to have a fight, there's 4 of us and there's 1 of you, because my mate Byron, he racked off as soon as he saw what was unfolding. And I said, well, we might be going to have a fight here, but I don't care if I win or lose, but 1 of you blokes, I'm going to bite an apple-sized chunk out of them. And they were like, okay, this guy's a complete nut job, and off they went. But it's just, if I see something that's out of line, I like to say, nah, hang on, woo. Not to that extent.
Yeah.
But and that's basically, I've seen some stuff in my area of Braddon that I'm not happy with, and it's the shutting down of 4-wheel drive tracks because it's all too hard. Like, they're not shutting them down on any great merit other than some areas are getting damaged. Okay, well, let's get some people in the park rangers whose entire job is to look after that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that'll cost too much money. So we'll just put a blanket, shut all these tracks down because it's all too hard. And it's like, just annoys me.
It's not the way. It's I don't know. I'm intrigued the fact that you said you would run again. I wouldn't have picked that you would. I don't know if I would. Maybe that's why I sort of have that. It surprises me that you would.
Well, I'm not a quitter.
No, I just pit, like, at the time, I was a hell of a lot of a different person then, but I sort of realised that it's, and nothing against, there are politicians out there that do really good stuff and whatnot, but a lot of it's just like, a lot of them are just yes men. Like,
I get that.
And the thing that really, really, really gets me is that, like, the vast majority of politicians, it's not, they're not actually dealing with issues. It's just all, I'm attacking you and I'm trying to let everyone know that you're a terrible person and that I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And that's all, like, look at all this bad shit that you've done. Look at this person. And it just, it honestly, it drives me. Absolutely drives me. And,
I suppose once you get to a point where you've had a gutful, which I have, you've got 2 options. You've got the option to live your life in frustration forevermore, or put your hand up and have a bit of a crack. I don't profess that I'm ever going to be a good politician if I ever get the chance. I don't profess that I'll do any good, but by geez, I'll try.
I just think there's other, I don't know what they are, but I think there's other ways you can make more of a difference. Like, and that's the other thing with, like, with political stuff. Even I was surprised that you weren't hamstrung. You were still very, and I even saw a lot of people on your comments and stuff. Oh, you got to toe this line, you got to toe that line, and you were just straight out, I'm not. Like, this is, which I was very, very impressed with. I think a lot of people were. But even so, to a point, if you're with a party, you're still bound in some way. And even if you're an independent, there's still only, it's not complete freedom of speech.
No.
You can't say, which I understand, but that sort of frustrates me. And realistically, that's probably only because I've had, like, great success with, like, the way that I've done things, like with the parking meter fines and the traction that I've got. I've done it my own way, I suppose. And I suppose maybe it's just because I don't know, the exact right ways to do it. Those other ways would have merit, but it's just the idea of being somewhat hamstrung by it all.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand exactly what you're saying there. and there was a lot of that. What I find though is to even if I have an effect on just educating people in regards to how it works, because I see a lot of people cannot differentiate between federal and state politics, and that's a huge problem. I also see a lot of people that don't have, or they do, but they don't seem to have any written comprehension skills, because they read the first line and then they just fly off the handle, and then everything's about that first line, whereas issues are complex. Issues are complex. So if you can't take the time to read, and if I've got to be that guy who is basically, I tell people I'm not a bogan, but I'm about 3 cricket ball throws away from that zone.
You're close cousin.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I probably am a bogan when it's all said and done. So I feel that just my life and where I am at the minute allows me to be a fairly good conduit between the realities of and some people that need a bit of a jerking into gear. So I don't see myself as a great saviour, but I do see that I've got a certain amount of skills that would be wasted if I don't have a crack. Like, I'm 53 and I don't ever profess to be an adult, but I surprise myself every now and then of late where I go, oh, that's very adult of you.
Yeah.
Because the people that know me would just go, he's not an adult. But over the last 5 to 6 years, they probably go, oh, he's starting to be a bit of an adult.
Would you go for the Labor Party or a party? Would you go independent if you were to run again?
I feel no, Labor Party.
Yeah.
And people go, that's ridiculous. Like, a lot of people have said, if you had a round of independent, this would happen. If you go for Pauline Hands, this would happen. But here's the thing. I have a history of who I am. And if I was to change to just get elected, well, I'm not being true to myself. I want to get elected to make a difference, not to earn the money or the notoriety or whatever.
Yeah.
And so if I was to jump, that would be, I'm just doing it for a different reason.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for dollars. I'm not doing it for the notoriety or whatever comes with it. Because you're throwing yourself to the sharks.
Your whole life then becomes open to the public.
And I feel like when I say that I've got this sort of flukish grounding in being able to probably weather that, it comes from the Team Penn thing. It comes from being the public engagement officer for Tarfish. Like, the hate that gets thrown at me, and I don't care, because this tattoo reminds me all the time just to be positive and to be the solution. Oh, it's over there, is it?
Yeah, show the cat.
That's my only ever tattoo.
The Mozza tattoo, yeah.
I said to Mozza used to talk about tattoos because he never had a tattoo. And he said, what do you reckon about tattoos? I said, I don't mind tattoos. I said, but the only one I'll get the only two is if I ever get really good at holographic tattoos, I want to get the holographic tattoo of a large penis on my small cashew on a beanbag. Or I'm a huge Valentino Rossi tragic fan. He's got the angry sun and the angry moon, which is part of his Italian heritage. And I've had most of his AGV Signature Series helmets. I would get those on my calf. But yeah, like I say, that's why that's there. It's to remind me every day to be part of the solution, not the problem, and to just say, no, hang on, woo, in a positive way.
That's the big thing. I remember the first conversation I had with a mate who was part of the drifters. Like, he was a drifter, I suppose you call him.
Yep, small town drifter.
Yes, small town drifter. He's really good.
Is that Lloyd?
No.
We can't name him. We'll upset someone.
He might not want me to say who it is, but anyway, the guys that run drifting, because it changed. It's like Drifting Taz now, but before it was someone else maybe or something.
Yes,
something like that. Before that change happened, I don't know. As I said, I'm not into the drifting scene. But apparently there was a lot of people who were unhappy with the way that it was going. And I remember he got on the committee or the board or had started to have some involvement with it. And I was talking to him about it. I was like, oh, that's random. And he said the same thing. He was like, well, it's like, I love drifting. I love doing this. I don't agree with how it's done. He's like, I can sit at home and bitch, or I can like be proactive and actually. And I was like, wow, so that was one of those sort of adult conversation moments. It was a fair while ago. I was like, oh, wow, that makes sense. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you can sit back and whinge and moan. but it's hard sometimes to put your frustration aside and to go about things in the right manner. But
I suppose the core principle of it is I just like to help.
Yeah.
You know, people are always telling me you should say no. But if someone's got an issue or a problem or needs a hand, I mean, I think that was in me from my mum before I met Moz, and just me and Moz, we just gelled and we just like to help. Like what Moz did for the bushfire down here was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that came right through here.
Oh, yeah, would it? As I was driving in, I was thinking to myself, I could remember when we first come back in, but that happened such a long time ago now. We were actually in a Devonport shark fishing competition. It must have been January. Must have been early January. Nearly New Year's Day or something.
I think
just after. Mate.
Yeah, just after.
But we were up there and we heard about it, and Moz engaged Super Moz by the time he got to Campbelltown.
Yeah.
And so because it was cut off, road was cut off, it was absolute pandemonium. It started to get Lord of the Flies like, and so he organised boats and bits and pieces.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
And it was all off the back of him. And like, and this is why I want to be a politician. I want to get back to those times where people and community help each other, and it's not like it's not oh no, we have to do a safety audit on that. Oh no, you can't have all that. You can't have that. Oh, you can't have boatloads of food because the peanuts might touch the lettuces, and then
ridiculous.
It's like, oh my god. So he mobilised something in 24 hours, which was awesome. By the time he put his little Mozzaisms and effort into that was an army of people helping that community, and the boatloads of stuff was just phenomenal.
When that happens, politicians and stuff, when that happened, so because like the highway splits our farm, and when it happened, they had the road shut off just this side of Fawcett. And I remember we were coming back and forth, and then they shut the road because it went on. It was like over the space of nearly, it was like 4 or 5 days sort of thing. It was on this side and that side, and it was like a nightmare. Anyway, they shut the road off on like the second day, I think it was. And I went down there, and because we all lived up in town, they made me show my driver's license. No, you can't come down. I was like, my farm, like it's on fire. And I had this big spout with them, but we like turned off and come out through Nugent, come out of Kellerville and got here.
Yep.
But then on like the last sort of day of active fire, I guess you'd say, the Prime Minister came down, which was it Gillard or someone at the time? I can't remember. Anyway, the Prime Minister came down, and the same thing, they had the road shut, so we had to come through the hills, come over here, and that was like a big thing. And they were like, all these hurdles, like we struggled to get through this way.
Yep.
Just had to push, and I just had this really bad taste in my mouth. I was like, fancy, like fair enough, it's a photo op and people do need to see what's going on, but like you're stopping us from doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I still, when they came down the highway, all our bales of silage that had been wrapped, I think it was like a couple of days beforehand, like a lot of them had been burnt, some were still smouldering. So we'd picked them up with a tractor and we had them right on the edge of the highway, and we were hosing them down, like trying to put the fire and stuff. And we didn't, like the motorcade stopped, the couple of cars and whatnot, and then like the film crew got out and they're filming them talking and all that. Mates behind me like pretend to like root me up the arse with this hose and stuff. And it made the news.
Did it really?
Yeah, it's funny.
That's
but that pissed. I was so wild. I was like, I get it, but like we're down there, like things are still on fire, and we lost. Remember when it happened, we the old man, my family were on Bruni at their shack, my parents and stuff, and I was at work. It was when I was still on the tools at the Hobart City Council, and my brother-in-law and my sister, but both my sisters were down here, and it started getting like real bad. And the old man rang me, and he was like, "Are you going to go down?" I said, "Yeah, I'll leave work now." And he was like, "Don't worry about anything else. The fires will sort stuff." He's like, "Save me fences. Fencing sucks. Just save me fences." And I was like, "Oh, yep." So, so if we save all your fences, you'll buy us a carton of beer. And he was like, "Fucking hell, I'll buy you." He was like, 5 or 10 each, or whatever it was. And we lost 37 kilometres of fencing.
Oh, wow.
But there's a whole story in that thing. But that was hectic times.
That was crazy times.
And it was funny because I was over in Victoria hunting last week.
Yes.
And the old man went over there to help Blaze Aid out.
Yes.
Which is another full circle thing because they helped us here when it all happened. And I was talking to him about it. And I didn't realise, but he still carries a lot of stuff from that. He was saying that it was good to be able to give back the physical side of it, but also talking to the farm. He's like, I went through this.
Sharing that issue.
Yeah, it's going to be all right. And he was saying, it said it's still still raw, still mess him up, sort of thing. Which
Yeah.
he's a tough farmer that just never really.
So
never really
what were you
thought of.
hunting? Sambar?
So a mate of mine got drawn in the hog deer ballot.
The hog deer. Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
so
on
I've
that
been
little
trying
islandy thing.
Snake Island.
Yeah.
So
Was it hot?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very.
Because I thought to myself, Jesus, going sambar shooting in that heat.
There was one day or a couple of days. So there was a fire going on over there. So they shut most of the high country.
Yep.
So he shot a hog deer on Snake Island.
Yep.
And then we come back off there and we went and we mucked around like Lacola and went up like getting towards the high country sort of thing, but couldn't hunt it properly. But there was mainly one day, but sort of 2 days. It was just that hot. Couldn't get away from the flies. Just laying in my swag, just like dripping wet.
I can imagine.
It was,
We need to have a chat because I bought a 17 HMR specifically to go fox shooting. And I haven't been yet.
So the last time,
But I'm not going in the heat.
I went
I want to
over.
whistle them.
Yeah, so I went over last Easter.
Yep.
And I bought I had a 22 Magnum, was the first gun I ever bought. Loved it.
Yep.
Sold it in COVID times because everyone was getting stupid. I sold a lot of guns in COVID times. Everyone was getting stupid money for them.
Yep.
And I had a 223 and I thought, well, no, 22 Magnum, 223, I've got I had a few guns that were close together and I thought, I'll get a 17 HMR, 223.
Fill the gap.
Yeah.
Happy days.
And I love it. But the same thing, I was like, I'll buy this.
I got a 22 and a 222 because I sort of fell in love with 222.
Yep.
Was a kid reading this book my dad had as a kid. I read this thing called The Shooter's Bible. It was an American thing. It's a big ass. It's just it's awesome. And I just read the cover of it, and they had an article in there about 222. So I was a 222 covert before all this 22. It's stupid because 223 is cheaper to run, and arguably it's slightly better round. But so I've got the 222 and the 17 HMR.
But I brought my 17 for that race because I'd never shot a fox.
Yep.
Went over there to try and get a sambar and stayed with my mate in near Ballarat and shot my first 2 foxes. Took my 17 over there, and I love it. Such a nice round.
But the people that say that no, I don't need one because I've got a 22 Magnum, it's not the same.
Not at all.
The 17 HMR is a laser.
Yeah.
Possums hate it.
Yeah.
I put dead on possums at distances where I go, I really should be holding over a little bit. And then I go, oh, you're joking.
It's a cracker little round.
Yeah.
Like I essentially bought it as a pelt gun. So for rabbits, I love tanning rabbits. So rabbits and foxes and stuff. But I do miss my 22 Magnum at sometimes, but I mean the thing that annoys me is, it's not that bad, but I go out with the kids, the 223, like everyone's got to wear earmuffs.
Yes.
It's in the buggy, it cracks pretty hard, it's pretty noisy. So the kids rather if I take the 17, but then you're limited in distance sort of thing compared to the 223, but it's a cracking little gun.
Yeah, no, I quite enjoy it. So I've got 22, 17 HMR, 222, 2506.
Oh yeah.
And I don't need one, but I wouldn't mind going something 7mm.
I just bought, so I've done most of my deer hunting with a 270. It was the first centerfire rifle I brought.
Yep.
Love it. It's been an amazing gun. And then I just brought a 7mm PRC.
Oh, yeah.
So when I went hunting red deer in New Zealand and pigs and goats and whatnot, we used a 7mm 08 and then used a 300 WSM for the
7mm 08's what I got mine on.
Yeah, that's what Pete used for the hog deer.
Yeah, Jesus,
last week.
That's a lot of gat for a hog deer.
Pete's got he's
going on with that?
It's not even he's getting borrowed off his mum. He's got like 300 runs.
He borrowed a 7mm 08 off his mum.
Yeah.
His mum's got a 7mm 08.
His mum never used it. It was bought for her, but she rarely uses it. But he
hog deer
like sheep size sort of thing, maybe a bit smaller.
Well, he was wanting to.
Well, he's got like big rounds, like 300 PRCs, 300 rums, 338 laps, all that sort of stuff. So he shoots.
It was the lesser of.
Well, it's the smallest thing, yeah.
Holy.
But I just bought.
What did they say when he rocked up to the island with the 7mm 08?
They didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't have to show you guns or anything.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a gated thing.
No.
Oh, there you go.
But I just bought a 7mm PRC. That I haven't even put a round through it yet. I bought the rifle, got the muzzle brake. I've got to put it's my first Seiko.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they don't have a pick rail. So I've run Harris bipods and all my other rifles, but I want something. I'm trying to keep the weight down in this.
Yes.
So yeah, I've got to like drill into the stock and put this peak rail on. I'm fucking dreading it, but yeah, that's.
You can do that yourself, or get someone.
I'm going to do it myself because I feel like I'm real fussy with that sort of stuff.
Yep.
I'll be super pissed off if I paid someone to do it and they didn't do it exactly how I wanted it.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll just do it myself.
Just do it yourself.
But yeah, 7mm a good round.
Yeah,
and
I don't need one, but here's the thing: if I've got one in the cupboard, then I've got to probably get off my ass and go and shoot something with it. I'd love to go to the Northern Territory with a 7mm.
Yeah.
But again, finding the time. Having said that, I've had a couple of lever actions over the years that I bought just to go pig shooting. I haven't been pig shooting yet, which is a bit of... Oh, no, sorry, technically I have been once.
Flinders Island.
Oh, yeah, I've been to Flinders Island. I shot a pig there while I was there. I was only there doing some fishing and teaching one of the charter operators. One of the guy that flies planes over there.
Yeah, okay. I went over there pig hunting.
Yep.
That was, brilliant fun. I took my
top end of the island, isn't it?
Yeah, so there was...
What about the birds?
Oh, man, everything over there is...
Why didn't I take a shotgun? Fair income.
Yeah.
And we drove from the airport because this guy does the little planes. He's got the charter plane thing. And we flew into the airport. We got in the car and we're just driving along. And I'm like, am I in a bird sanctuary? Pheasants.
Those Cape Barren geese, like, everywhere.
Yeah, and the peacocks, wild peacocks.
Yeah.
It does my head in shooting a peacock, but anyway. As long as they eat good, I don't mind.
Yeah, but no, Flinders is an amazing place.
Oh, the fishing was great. I can't wait to go again. Matter of fact, he rang me up about a month ago and said, get back over here. So he flies us over there for nothing, so I better get onto that.
Perfect.
But I probably should take my 222 this time.
It's a... see many snakes?
First thing, we got in the car to the farmer guy that was putting us up, and he's a bit of a known dude, and he got a phone call, and someone had gone out the back of the dairy to turn the tap on because the water, and she'd moved some piece of tin, and there was a snake there, so we had to go and deal with that. So that was the first thing.
I've never seen so many snakes in all my life.
Oh, right,
It was... I trod on one there on the beach, barefoot.
Yep.
But I've got I bought a GoPro just before I went on that trip.
Yep.
And I've never, ever seen so many snakes in my life.
Yeah,
it was colossal.
Yep.
I think I read somewhere once that it's something like per square whatever, or per I don't know, it's like the most heavily densely populated snake place or something.
Yeah, right.
But an amazing place. I remember seeing...
absolutely. And if you haven't been there, get there. It's crazy cool.
It's I've always wanted to go from here, like take a boat over. I've got a couple of mates that do it, but it's pretty treacherous stretch of water.
Yeah, pretty much. Got to pick your weather window, and it's good to go with a few boats. But
yeah. But no, I definitely want to get back there. But we might have to wrap this up because I've got to get up the road and
cool bananas
and go up the road. But thank you very much for coming down, mate.
Thank you.
It's worth waiting the 4 months, and we'll have to get you back down.
Hopefully,
have to get you on again.
Have enjoyed enough to stay to the end.
Hope you haven't lost any listeners of
vlog.
Brilliant. All right, thank you very much, Hooch.
No worries. Cheers.
Beautiful.
It was gold.
Hour and 32 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. I thought you were pulling us up at the hour.
No, well, I generally save project.
No, that's what I thought. I thought that must have been about an hour.
No, I don't like some go for... Yeah, it just depends, man. Depends on...
Yep.